What's up? What's up? YouTube in the house. Hope you guys are doing well today in the Earl world. What up? What up, Waver? CC Motion in the house. Always a pleasure to see some of the usuals in here. Big money, show me the money, honey. What's up? What's up? We're just doing a midday, not a midday. We're doing a midweek stream. You know, trying to stream every day. Mr. Thompson gifting one membership. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Whoever got that free membership, thank you to Mr. Thompson. And Lois had a little trouble there, but she'll be all right. She'll be all right. Poor thing. The poor baby. So, looking like I did not get that thing I auditioned for yesterday because it shoots tomorrow. So, let me check my email one last time. You never know in the world of voiceovers. But, you know, it's a very, very competitive field. But I'll keep plugging, yes. I absolutely am an LA warrior. Yeah, I don't, I really don't. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am following the latest in the Dabbleverse, but I just, you know, it's, what is it, 8:15 p.m., you know, 10 to 12:15 for you guys, wherever you guys are at. I just don't have anything to add to the Dabbleverse drama. I mean, but I will say this, I am, you know, I watched a few streams about it, you know, it's, what are you going to do? I mean, I just don't, I mean, it's not going to end well for the K-Man. I mean, it is repetitive. And, you know, that's why you gotta always have new storylines and, you know, say what you want about Chad and John. You know, it's really more interesting with them in it. But to me, I'm bored by their stories. So that's what up, Zoom Zoom. That's when you see a guy like Karmic come in. Oh, he's funny, and you know he's dating someone who's you know, but it's already played out. The storyline hasn't even been 2 weeks, and it's already okay. We're kind of bored with this. So, Stugatz. You know, this is a relatively free Dabbleverse zone. Yeah, I watched a little bit of AEW, and I didn't. It kind of was sad to see it in such a small venue. But you know, I think I started watching the Moxley match, and then yeah, 100%. That's a good question to ask, Alex. I mean, it's just so repetitive. But, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, I've got 17 people in here, and most Dabbleverse streams have literally hundreds of people. So, you know, but you know, I'd rather have the 17 people in here right now than talk about the fucking latest going-ons of Clearwater Chad and, you know, I mean, that guy, I don't know the guy, so it's not personal at all, but like, my God, I find him so unfunny. Like, it's just not, it's like, who is this guy? So, yes, 17 comedy fans, comedy excuse me, soldiers in the Earl Army. Yeah, but I just don't think there's enough interesting people in that world, which is why it's so repetitive. I mean, look how fast. Yeah, I mean, and that's the fucked up thing about the Dabbleverse world is, I got shit on. I don't know how we. I mean, all right, back to 27. That was a big jump though, 17 to 38. I thought maybe the yonder wizard bump was about to happen. Is that someone said Earl's always in the middle. He wants to be liked, and that's how fucked up that world is. You want to be liked, so you're labeled a bad person. It's insane. Just go back and look at Karmic X chat right now. It's bad. No, I'm good on that. Uh, you can talk about the Minnesota shooting. I mean, I don't know a lot about it to be honest with you. Like, um, I just found out the shooter was trans, so I'm gonna guess, knowing nothing about the situation, that they were bullied and just had enough. I mean, I was bullied in high school, a tremendous amount. Really in grade school as well. I mean, I'm fairly repetitive on here as well, but you know, I was bullied because I've been the same size since the fourth grade. I mean, I was like Andre the Giant in my grade school, and maybe not so much in high school, but I was still one of the bigger freshmen. How is doing Trump doing? You're gonna have to write that in English, bro. Yeah, I mean that's a tough one. Are the parents responsible? I mean, the kid maybe. I mean, I don't know what they knew. Some parents know. Some parents feed their children, hey, let's go to the range and shoot, and make them expert marksmen or woman in this case. But it's two kids, 8 and 10 years old, man. It's just heartbreaking. Um, so yeah, I mean, the bullying, to be honest with you, still sticks with me. I mean, that's why I probably got into roast battle. I'm embarrassed to say it, but I was like, hey, finally, a situation where I can bully someone. I can call my girlfriend at the time fat. I can call another girlfriend at the time having a big nose. I can make fun of this guy for being gay, and I could make, it's like, what a gross show, man. And you see, that's probably why I don't like really Kill Tony that much. It's just bullying. It's Tony and his friends bullying open mic level comics. Um, you from Chicago? I'm not from Chicago. I'm from LA, but my dad was from Chicago. So, uh, I mean, I'm interested in that Trump shooting. I mean, it definitely seems like. I mean, I'm not really a conspiracy guy, to be honest with you, but it does seem a little weird that this guy was allowed on the highest roof around there. I mean, it's not like there was 20 buildings and they were all kind of. This was the best. I don't know. Something's a little weird there. Um, I mean, I just don't. I guess like when I got on the TV show Roast Battle, I kind of dug it because I was going against my peers. Like the first guy I beat, Jesse Joyce, he was Comedy Central's #1 roast writer. So I got off on going, okay, I'm going to take this guy down. He's their best. I'm going to beat their best. And then when I got to Montreal and I battled um, Tom Ballard, who beat Jimmy Carr in the untelevised season, but Jeff rigged it for Jimmy to win. I was like, okay, I'm gonna beat the guy who beat Jimmy Carr, and then I'm gonna beat Jimmy Carr. And then in my battle against Sarah Tiana, like, that was a very tough battle to win because of some situations behind the scenes. And then I'm going to beat K. Trevor Wilson, the Canadian icon up there. Who do you think the whole room was rooting for, me or K. Trevor Wilson? So I really got off on, um, beating the best. Whereas Kill Tony, it's just most of those comics can't even get through 1 minute. So I don't really think it's a big deal to like have me and Red Band and Tony and 3 guests and the band and gang up on these kids. But it's playing Madison Square Garden, so what do I know? 100% Jeff wasn't rooting for me. I mean, if you were to see, 2 things really stand out to me from my time on Roast Battle. When first of all, I know that I don't want anyone to go back and watch the shit, but I know you guys probably will. Um, if you go back and watch my battle with Jesse Joyce, I don't know what the cameras picked up because I haven't watched one of my battles on TV, but from where I was on the stage, I look over when Jesse's first joke bombed and mine killed. Jeff looked disappointed, like, oh fuck. And all the Comedy Central executives were like, literally like, and then when my second joke really fucking drove home the victory, you could tell the look on everyone's face but Joe, Rogan, and Dane Cook, because they could care less who won, was like, oh, we got to take him, not Jesse. Because that battle was set up for Jesse to kill me. Comedy Central knew Jesse would be fairly boring presentationally. He's a great writer, but he's just going to sit there and read his jokes. Well, Roast Battle is pro wrestling to a degree. It's it's a entertainment medium as well. So that, well, we'll put Jesse against Earl. Earl come out half naked and all that bullshit, and then Jesse will kill him. Well, that didn't quite work out, did it? And then when I beat Jimmy Carr, you could see Jeff was angry. And then when I walked upstairs, it should have been the highlight of my comedy life, beating the #1 comic in the world, arguably. I mean, Jimmy plays arenas. And I remember going up backstage because, the stage was there, and then you walk, back through the door that opens up. And I remember walking up the stairs like I felt like I'd done 10 tons of cocaine. I was so pumped up. And then I get into the green room, and every Comedy Central executive and Jimmy Carr's management team were giving me dirty looks. And I'm like, hey, man, I told you guys not to put me up against people you want to see win this thing because I'm going all in. Like, to Jimmy, it wasn't a big deal at all whether he won or lost it, although I'm sure Jeff and his manager, Amy, promised him, well, you might face her in the second round, but you'll kill him. I don't think so. So, yes, R.I.P. Ralphie May. But that's why I did enjoy Roast Battle from the standpoint of it was the best. Who's better? And if Tony would have beat K. Trevor Wilson, me and Tony would have faced off. So, I was the Buster Douglas of Roast Battle for sure, but it didn't really do me any good. I mean, I went 4-1 on international television, and I never saw the show again. What's the deal with Jeff Ross? He uses people, spits them out, takes all the meat off the bones of the show, and moves on to the next shitty show. That's the deal. He just picked the wrong guy and me to burn. Because I don't want anything from Jeff. I don't need anything from Jeff. So I can speak out and go, this guy's a piece of shit. Whereas most people are like, oh my God, Jeff's on Broadway. Who cares? I mean, read the reviews. But like I said, Jeff literally fails upward in this business. So, what are you going to do? It's just the way the business is. Doesn't have to be like that, though. You can literally, we all could have eaten at the table from roast battle, but and look at it now. It's embarrassing. I watched some battle the other. Someone sent me a clip of theirs. They were in the New York Roast League or whatever it's called, and fuck, man, like I don't know how this show's still going. So what up, Danny? I did not watch the Tom Brady roast. I have no interest in what It's like I don't want to watch comedy. I want to do it. I certainly don't want to watch a roast that I should be on. Am I the most famous comic in the world? Absolutely not. But I should be on those roasts. They know it. I know it. Jeff knows it, which is why I'll never be on it. I guarantee you, even if I got on the roast, Jeff would be like, "You do one joke about my situation, you'll never see the show again." But you know what? I knew that, so I don't want. It's fine. Do you think you could have beaten Jeremiah Watkins? Jeremiah would tap out after the first joke. He's not a roast comic. So he would not fare well against me. And he knows it. So, and that's not like putting Jeremiah down. Roast comics are, it's, it's roasting isn't for everybody, to be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, I mean, when you look at, the situation he was in, and really nobody, the only person who spoke out in defense of him was Amy Schumer, and really her response wasn't really supportive. It was like, I love Jeff like a brother, but he dates dangerously young women. That's not exactly A+ support, but what are you going to do? So, do I agree? Jeff had nothing with roast battle or the Tom Brady roast. I mean, with Jeff was arguably the worst part of roast battle, to be honest with you. I mean, the best part of roast battle was me. I mean, look at my battles. 4-1 on TV. Sarah Tiana and Jeselnik when he was a judge. I mean, I challenge anyone. And I guess the show's either on Peacock or Paramount Plus. And I'm not directing you towards one episode where I did well. Watch any episode me and Jeff are on. Any episode. So the 5 episodes from season 1. And you tell me what episode Jeff was funnier than me. You won't be able. If you're being honest, you won't be able to. But what up, TV? What up, TV? Yeah, hit the like and subscribe button. Like my buddy from Australia says, Big Bones Jones in the house. So, Tony Hinchcliffe stole that PR garbage. Lake joke, 100%. I don't know. From that political rally. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't. I mean, it did sound like a joke that I've heard before a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, Tony's like the perfect roast comic from the standpoint of you can't really cancel him because he doesn't act. He doesn't do like voiceover work. He's not an actor. So what are you going to take from him? No one's going to cancel a show that's selling out Madison Square Garden. So he's in a great position. And to be honest with you, he's the perfect host for Kill Tony. He's a fucking sociopath. And he was cocky when he had no money. So I can only imagine now what he's like. We don't really talk anymore, but I saw him on a clip of Legion of Skanks, and he looked like he looked like Powers Booth in Red Dawn. But the shows, you can't argue the success of it. I mean, I'm always looking at places. Red Bar should go on a roast. I mean, they should have a roast of Red Bar. Get all the people he hates on it, Tripoli, Tony, all those fucking guys. And then he could rebut at the end. I don't know what you're asking, Waiver. Uh, but I mean, if you remember how how he had the shades on and he looked all fucking like a maniac. You know, Tony on Legion of Skanks, he had like like even Attell was looking at him like, what the fuck? So, oh, okay, yeah, I mean, Bumba, I don't, Joey, what do you mean, Joey Diaz? Yeah, well, I mean, and this is one thing I learned through someone in my past. If you don't have anything registered, anyone, oh, Joey Diaz hates Red Bar. Yeah, okay, yeah. If you don't have anything registered, they can't sue you. So, like, um, when I was working on a show a couple years ago in development, me and the person I was working on it with, we registered it with the Writers Guild and several other guilds. So now nothing happened to it, but if someone steals the show idea, me and this person have a good case to sue because it's registered forever. So I would guess Bennington just thought nothing was going to come of the show and just stopped doing it. And then, Kill Tony is really just a derivative of the Gong Show, and people kind of forget how popular the Gong Show was. Well, that's a little sensitive to Paulo. I'm not asking you where you live. Um, so, it's going to be interesting to see the shelf life, of Kill Tony, at least on Netflix. I mean, the reviews of the first episode weren't great. And then they just put out another episode, so you should go on Legion of Skanks. I don't really like the format of that show with, five people and they kind of gang up on me. I mean, if they started ganging up on me, I'd walk off and be like, fuck all you guys. Like, I don't play that. And to be fair, they haven't asked me ever to be on it, so it's not like I'm turning them down or whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's very few shows that are original. I mean, I will say, and I'm a little biased, but because I was on the show from day one, Roast Battle was a pretty original show. I mean, there really wasn't a show like it beforehand. It's certainly, um, you know, there's been roast shows, but it was really the roast of a certain celebrity. It wasn't like a one-on-one combat. Maybe Yo Mama and Wild and Out. But Roast Battle was, Yo Mama was basically doing hacky Yo Mama jokes. Like, your mama's so fat when she sits around the house, she sits around the house. And it wasn't really about the person you were on stage with. You were just doing generic jokes. And Wild and Out was, kind of a roast show, but it wasn't very good. But hell, that show lasted like 23 fucking years or seasons. Um, so, Roast Battle was really original from the standpoint of it was one-on-one verbal combat. You get to say something about me, but guess what? I get to say something about you about 2 seconds later, bitch. So, yes, football's in a week. Hockey, I think training camps start like September 10th or something. So, 2 weeks. Um, why did they stop Roast Battle on TV? I don't know. I mean, I'm going to guess season 3 was so bad that, it was just like, okay. It just. The Sklar brothers battle was horrible. Jeff and Blake Griffin. Now people are saying, "Well, you don't like Jeff. You're going to criticize everything he does." But like the Jeff and Blake Griffin battle, you will not get me to not believe that they did not go over their jokes beforehand. And then when Blake Griffin started beating him, we're going to call it a tie. In the history of the TV show, they never had a tie. Gee, who gets the first tie? Jeff. Because the big bad roast master was losing to an NBA player who's never roasted before and barely done stand up. Not a good look. And then, Bolivia against Kim Congdon. I mean, Bolivia just half-assed it and got killed. So, I really think season one was the peak of the show. I mean, season two was a good storyline. Frank Castillo, um, who literally worked across the street taking tickets at the door, won the whole thing. So, you know, but even that's, season three should have been grudge matches. You have Mike Lawrence against Frank, season one versus season two winner. I mean, that's just pro wrestling. You have me against Bolivia. Now, I heard Bolivia said, I don't want to battle him. Well, then guess what? You don't get to be on the TV show. I mean, how did that girl get so much clout when she lost on every season? So, and then, or me against Jeff. And not scripted. And so, no, she's just the weather today. It's really humid, so it's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. I'm gonna get her shaved tomorrow. No, I mean, I think what happened with Bolivia in her case, like, when she got, the reason why she was in a wheelchair in season one was, so my battle with Tom Ballard, I was the star of the show that night. And, Bolivia was rushing backstage to hang out with me. She probably wouldn't say that now, but that's what she was doing. And she fell and tripped on an edge of the stage, which was very dangerous. I mean, that stage was awesome to be on, but it was dangerous. I mean, like when you're at a concert and you see the singer, they got the neon tape by the edge of the stage so he knows, hey, don't go past that point, stuff like that. They did not have that on Roast Battle. So Bolivia could have sued the network. She probably could have sued Jeff, probably could have sued Amy, Jeff's manager, anyone associated with that show, because of the dangerous conditions that the stage was under. So I'm going to guess that's why she got all three seasons, So, was that? Yes, it was. Well, I don't know if it was built the same, but that was the same. If you go back and watch my season, which I don't care if you guys do or don't, I don't get $1 from it, but you'll notice the stage was very dark on the sides and whatnot. So, I mean, I will say it was awesome. I mean, the untelevised season was it was in that same venue, but there was no stage really. It was just a dark and dingy club. And then, I'll never forget when that door opened up for my battle against Tom Ballard. I was like, holy fuck, man. It was a wild visual that I'll never forget. But, from a safety standpoint, it's not like, before the cameras were rolling, we were told, okay, don't go over here. Because, I mean, the edges of the stage were razor sharp. So, I'm going to guess that's why she got all three seasons. And, I mean, Comedy Central, they ruined the show, to be honest with you. I mean, when they called me in for season four, because I think at one point they were going to do a season four, but I think they realized the error of their ways. I mean, that the New York champion, this guy named Eli, he was so fucking bad on the show that they had to take his battle off of television. Now, think about that. Think about that. Comedy Central said, this is so bad we can't air it. Now, Eli was a guy in New York who built up kind of this great record of roast battle. He was like 12-0 or something, and he was smashing people. But he only battled in his home club. He only battled his friends, and he was judged by his friends. So I could have told you right there, you put this guy against someone he doesn't really know, and the judges aren't his friends, it's not going to end well. And it was so bad against Pat Barker, who's a really good battler, that Comedy Central had to take it off the air. I can guarantee you, you wouldn't have had to take any of my battles off the air. But so I'm in this meeting with Comedy Central, and they're like, "Well, who do you want to battle?" And the first thing I said was Bolivia. I want her. We had a great battle while we were dating. Let's see what it's like when we're not fans of each other. And the guy instantly said, we're never using her again. So she clearly burnt a bridge with how she performed on season 3. And then one of the guys was like, "Well, how about the Saudi Prince?" I'm like, so wait a minute. I go from going 4-1 on TV, beating Jimmy Carr, to battling the Saudi Prince who doesn't even fucking battle? Fuck off. So there you go. Speaking of dark, Earl, any more Newport that sightings? No, not yet. But this is a weird area. And my building is tough to get into, but we think what happened was he just waited, kind of loitered on the sidewalk and waited for a car to drive out. And then, no one pays attention when they leave our garage. So the Newport just kind of probably walked in the garage, and he had a big bag with him. So I'm going to guess there was tools in there and the room enough for whatever he was going to steal. So, you know. No, we do. He probably is William, to be honest with you. I mean, he definitely had the vibe of someone who's coming back. The way he walked out so casual and, didn't run out. And we had an incident about a month ago at the block up, and it might be the same guy, where a guy was casing this building because the next block, right below Sunset, there's a side street. It's where Lemmy lived, Harrott, Harrratt. And if you go down Larrabee and make a left on Harrott, there is the first condo apartment building to the right. There's a parking garage, but there's no gate. It's just a 3-car garage with 3 different units, cars, 1 car. And, there was a Range Rover in it, and this guy was caught on camera kind of checking out the scene, looking at the garage. There's no security for this building. And then 2 nights later, he came back and stole the Range Rover. So, and the scary thing is with this Newport the other night, he tried to get into the building. Now, that's when it could have gotten a little hairy. Like, some black dude, I'm sorry, Newport, just kind of walking around our building. Like, who knows if he had a gun or not? I mean, I'm not trying to be fucking dramatic or anything, but, it's possible he had a gun. I'm going to get my iPad and check my email real fast, just in case I got that gig. So talk amongst yourselves for 2 seconds. Right. You never know. I mean, this gig, it wouldn't change my life, but it would help my life. I'll tell you that much. Earl Skakel in the house. Hit the like and subscribe button, pretty please. I don't ask you guys for much. EA Sports. It's in the game. I'll give you a little free voiceover shit. Man, we peaked at the 38 people in here. Maybe I should start talking about karmic acts. Really get that crowd going. I just can't do that. All right, let's check the AOL. No, I'm just kidding. I can't. I mean, believe me, I've thought about it. I just can't, man. I'd be selling out. As much as, I was watching MLC today, like 800 people in there, and he was sniping someone. It was like, I can't, man. I just can't. I did not get the gig, I don't think. But that's all right. It's all good. Lois, come on now. I'm trying to stream here. Hunty? Let's see here. Wait, hold on. I mean, Lois, she's on one tonight, boy, I tell you. Ooh, is it hot? So, when she gets her first cut, she's going to be pissed at you. Um, yeah, tell me about it. Interesting. I don't know much about Kratom, to be honest with you. Nothing new at the special, to be honest with you. Um, no, Lois can breathe. It's just like, what are you doing? Lois, you're causing concern in the chat. She's smiling right now. Lois, looking at the camera, Holmes. I did not know that about Leno. I think it's because Arsenio is going there a lot. Look at that face. She is good. It's just hot, you know. Look at that. I'm gonna spend about $140 on her shave tomorrow. Well, when you're worth about $100 million, you can take a hardline stance. Huh, Lois? Look at that leg. She got nice legs. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in and being cool. I mean, it ain't cool in here. Trust me on that one. Yeah, but they know I'm that the groomers are under instructions. Yeah, I mean, it was hard. Well, back then it was like you either played the Comedy Store or the Improv. Um, you know, so it was very hardcore. Like, it's not like now where you can play the Comedy Store and the Improv and the Laugh Factory in the same night and nobody cares. So, you know, but back then it was hardcore. And I see both sides of it. I see Mitzi's side of it where it was, hey, I'm giving you exposure in front of Hollywood executives that you aren't going to get at the coffee shop on Coldwater and Fuller. And I see the comic side of it. How are we supposed to pay our fucking bills? I mean, I will say that. God of Thunder, it's too slow of a song for me. I mean, I will say this right now, the Comedy Store pays very well. I mean, I made about, I don't know, between 25 and 30 grand last year just playing the Comedy Store. So, and they don't care if I play the Improv or Laugh Factory. So, Yeah, I mean, it was just a different time, you know. I mean, there was only really, I don't think the Laugh Factory was around, and certainly in the 70s, I don't think the improv was around yet. Uh, so it was just like, hey, if you don't like performing here, perform at a coffee shop where no one's going to see you. Flaming Youth, you know, it's all right. I'm not like a super fan. I like Mr. Speed. You try teasing, but getting on your knees don't make it. You try pleasing, but baby, you can't even fake it. Come on, man. Lois, you're killing me right now. So, yeah, I mean, it was just a different era. But, you know, nowadays, you know, you can do a Kevin Brennan style and you don't need a comedy club. You can make, I mean, I don't know what Kevin makes a day, but, you know, you can make money from your home. You know, back then you had to, you know, you had to live the dream back then and go, and you know, you can make money on your YouTube page yourself or Instagram or TikTok, and you know, you didn't have that back then. Um, that's not how she saw it, you know, and I get it. As a businessman, you know, basically your your model is I'm paying for the electricity, I'm paying for the equipment, I'm paying for everything. I'm paying for the drinks that the audience is getting. You're not doing anything but showing up. But I could also see the obviously the performer side of things. Well, if no one's performing here, you're not going to be selling any fucking drinks. So I do believe that there could have been like a happy medium, but you know, it's like he who has the gold makes the rules, and Mitzi had the gold, and so did Bud Freeman, and then the Laugh Factory came along, and you know, there's nothing you can do about it. You know, if you're unhappy with how you're being treated, you know, there's not a lot of wiggle room until you are in a position of power to go. You know, like Bobby Lee can be very demanding if he wanted to be because he's a draw. People come to the club specifically to see him. So he can say to the comedy store, hey, I want to be paid more than everyone else. Half the crowd's here to see me, not Earl. And he'd be right. Uh, so, oh yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, but I also see the comic side, like you know, and I think there was a beef of, okay, well, if you're not gonna pay me here, I'll go to the improv. Okay, well, you go to the improv, you're not gonna come back here again. You're not gonna double dip. I mean, I really do see both sides because it's a lot of money to open a comedy club. Uh, you know, like I don't know how much it costs to run the comedy store per night, but you know, like take tonight. You've got probably 10 to 15 servers working the main room, the original room, and the belly room. So you've got to pay them a salary. You've got, you know, to pay the door guys. You know, probably 10 to 15 door guys who are spread out through all three rooms. You've got to pay security. So before the doors are even open, you're probably out a few grand. Now, if the shows are sold out, you're making a ton of money on the booze. I mean, that bottle of water they sell for $8 probably costs them $1. So, you know, I do really see both sides of the fence. So, yeah, but electricity, I mean, the comedy store is a massive building. It might not look like, it's, you know, you drive by, you don't realize it's like 3 stories and really 4 stories if you count the basement. Um, well, I'm a numbers guy, you know, and I've done comedy for so long that, you know, like, you know, my friend who used to run the nightclub on the corner of Santa Monica and San Vicente, it's the one Lance Bass put his name behind. What was it called when he was there? I think it was called Heart, now called Beach's Madhouse. He told me For them to open up the club, it costs them 10 grand a day. You know, employees, electricity, um, stocking, make sure you have enough booze and, insurance, and you got to pay the DJs and like 10 grand. Now they probably, on a Saturday night when it's an after hours and it's open from 10 to 4, they probably make 30 grand in alcohol sales, but not every night's a Saturday night. So, 100%. The Comedy Store is haunted. That is a fact, Jack. So, getting back to like the strike and whatnot, I mean, I get it. I've never been on the business end of it. I've been on the performing end of it. And, like I had a guy, this fucking Momo in Ventura, he's starting a comedy club up there. And he's like, I can give you $25. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. $25 barely gets me to the 405. And he's like, well, I'm just starting it out, man. I'm like, well, start it out on some local comics' time, not mine. He's like, yeah, but we need people with TV credits. I'm like, yeah, that's me. But you want to pay for my services? He's like, well, what would you need? I said, what would I need? Being nice, I would need $200. Cash, baby doll. He's like, well, I can't afford that. I'm like, well, then get someone else. And he did. It's not like I had the attitude of, do it without me. I know if I quit the Comedy Store tonight, they wouldn't miss me. They might miss me the first week. Okay, well, Earl does do a lot of time and close out the show pretty well most times. They get someone else. They might not do as good of a job as me, but you could get somebody else. Well, I mean, I don't, it's tough though. I get it. Like, I really put myself in Mitzi's shoes or Bud Freeman's shoes or even that maniac at the Laugh Factory, Jamie Masada. It's like, what do you do? I mean, and I see it from the performer side, obviously. My view is that of like what Leno was probably saying. Hey, man, without us, you got no one in the room to sell drinks to. And I see Mitzi's side. I go, well, without my club, without my electricity, without the microphone I bought, without Jeff Scott playing the piano music in between acts, you got nothing either, brother. So, yeah, I mean, I think the strike worked. I mean, it's like, who wins in the strike? You see a lot in pro sports. Is whoever has the most money. That's why, and I'm very familiar with the NHL strikes, but when the players strike, they're multimillionaires. They make a lot of money. And with no players playing, the owners don't have a product. But I would say almost every owner in the league, maybe not every, but probably almost 90% of the owners in the league are billionaires. So when you put multimillionaires up against billionaires, the owners are going to win every time. And the only way that, comics can go up against club owners is if you get like a Leno, a Letterman, a Seinfeld, people who have more money than probably the club owners go, hey, shit has to change. Well, they got a deal, but it wasn't great. I mean, I would definitely say that, they got paid a little bit, but it wasn't really unbelievable. I mean, even if you were, like, say, Argus. I mean, Argus was around in that time frame, and you're getting 3 to 5 spots a week because you also had the Westwood Comedy Club. You're getting maybe $100 a week. Now, prices have changed back then, so I'm sure your rent back then was probably $700. So, let's say you're Argus Hamilton and you're making just off the Comedy Store. Now, you also had the Vegas Comedy Store. So, if you were lucky enough to play that room, you're maybe making 1,500 a month. And that's if you're successful. The majority of the comics back then were not making 1,500 a month. You're maybe making 200 to 300 a month, which isn't even half your fucking rent. So, but you get that one national commercial because someone was in the crowd who saw you. That could be 100 grand. So, oh, 100% Tom Dreesen. Every time I see Tom Dreesen, I thank him for his time in the business before me. Um, I mean, it's hard to generalize like that. I don't think you can sit there and say most comics do anything. It's like you can't say all women are whores or all men are pigs. I will say in Los Angeles comedy, the like I would say since I started, say 99/2000, 90% of the people I started with quit. I mean, it's tough, and it's even tougher in this economy right now. Whereas if nowadays, if you have bad social media, you could be the greatest comic on earth. It don't matter. If you don't have followers, you're not going to get booked at a club. I mean, when I did Zanies in Nashville, now it's a new booker now, so I don't know how the new booker feels, but I was featuring for Craig Gass, and so the owner liked me and all that stuff. So we were talking, and the booker, and he's like, I won't book someone who doesn't have a minimum 100,000 followers on Instagram. And I've got, how many followers do I have on Instagram? I've got 12,200. Now, it's not that bad, but it's not great. I don't think someone who owns a Nashville comedy club is going to go, let's book that guy. So, that's the thing now, that you have to have social media. So, oh, is DDP having heart issues? I mean, it's been a busy day today in the world. So, oh, 100%, and they still do. Because ultimately, I mean, if you look at, Boulder Johnny, $2. Are there more unemployed comics or musicians? I mean, it's probably pretty even. I mean, nowadays, with musicians, it's pay to play on the Sunset Strip. So, but it goes back to my sports analogy. Let's say I have a problem at the Comedy Store. And you think I'm going to go up against Peter Shore and Pauly? No, I don't think so. But if I ever was a comic on, you take someone like Matt Rife. Matt Rife can play anywhere in the world. Theaters, comedy clubs. Probably at this point right now, playing comedy clubs is an insult to Matt Rife. He's like, I'm going to play a theater. I'll do one show at a theater. Why the hell would I go to Jacksonville and play the Comedy Zone for 7 shows when I can just do the Jacksonville Theater, the Burt Reynolds Theater? So Matt Rife could make a little bit of a stink. It's like, hey, listen, I don't have to play the Comedy Store. I could play the Fonda Theater and make more money in one night than 3 months at the Comedy Store. So, you have to be in a position of, I don't know if power is the right word, but you have to, Hinchcliffe, perfect example. Hinchcliffe could make some outrageous demands right now because his show is popular. And that's just the way it works. I mean, 10 years ago, he was working at Starbucks. Probably couldn't even get on the fucking open mic. Peter Shore probably had no idea who he is or was. Now Peter Shore's doing a documentary about Kill Tony. So, it just, like right now, I mean, I'm not really famous or whatever you want to call it, but, if I got on one big cartoon or one big animated movie, I could name my price. I could say, hey, you know what? I also want Friday nights to close out the main room. If I said that now, Rose the Booker would tell me to fuck off. So, I mean, there's, AC/DC, there's things I miss about having a relationship, and there's things I don't. I mean, like, when I went to see AC/DC by myself, I sat in the fucking front row. Now, could I have done that if I was dating someone? Yeah, probably. But, it would have been an expensive night. Show me the money, honey. So, sometimes it happens, you start into a relationship with the best of intentions, but, things get in the way. I'm the king of bad relationships. Hey, we're gonna go another 5 minutes, guys. And then, yeah, the ball and chain. Listen, do I eat a lot more? Yeah, because that's just eating for me. So when I Postmates, I can order from the nicer places, and I'm alone. So, um, hold on, I'm getting a message from a lady from my past, ironically enough. And no, it's not anyone you guys know. We don't. I'm not. This isn't the karmic X stream. Extend the stream. Alex, you got to show me the money, honey. If I get into a car, that's gas money. I'm not. I love you guys, but like, some guy the other day said, "Hey, how much will you drive to Malibu and show us that drive?" Do you know how much money it would cost me to drive to Malibu? Probably about $50. So you got to show me the money, honey. Bert Perkins. You better hope Bert Perkins is in the stream that night. Newport, please. So yeah, and it is possible to have a great marriage. To be honest with you, you just have to. I'm the king of bad relationships, so um, I'm. I could look at the last few relationships and go, you know what, the first couple of years were really good, and then I don't know what happened, but things changed. So, but I'll still say this: the grass ain't greener, baby. Um, I got some redwoods for you, Cold Sea. I'm just kidding, Alex. I'm coming a little hot on you, but I might do a drive stream this weekend where because of the Wi-Fi, the Eddie Nash drive stream, but I'm gonna have to do a video of it and then put it out because I know the Wi-Fi will cut out where the Wonderland Murder House is and also where Eddie Nash's house is. Um, so, I think, in my case, since I only primarily date entertainers and whatnot, that, inevitably one of you starts to climb over the other. And it hasn't been like a problem for me, but like I've seen that a lot. Where two comics are dating each other, one gets on the Tonight Show, the other doesn't. And then the other gets a lot of work from that Tonight Show appearance, and they start to kind of like distance themselves from the partner. Now, some partnerships work. I remember Eliza Schlesinger was dating Brett Ernst, and at the time, he was a bigger comic. And then she started getting on TV shows a lot, and then she elevated over him, and then they broke up. I don't know why they broke up, but I'll guess that had something to do with it. Earl, you need to date a doctor, lawyer, or a real estate agent. I'm not around them, Zoom. That's the problem, and it's what I tell people all the time. I'm not around 55-year-old women. I'm not around doctors, lawyers, whatever. Yes, they're in the audience. So when I'm at the Comedy Store Saturday night, there are a bunch of those people, but they're on dates or they're already married, so. Ross, you gotta show me the money, honey, if you want me to show you the gang territory. Shit. That's a 500 stream, Jack. That's a fact, Jack. Um, yeah, but at yoga class, it's not the greatest environment to make a move on a girl because if it doesn't work out and then you see them in the class the next day, it's a little weird. Golds, yeah, there's some straight girls there, yeah. Or what if I just did a stream where you guys could super chat me to say, I'll go down to Compton and I'll just yell out the N word. We'll get Gino Bisconte on the stream. That's his thing. So, all right, guys, we got that time of the stream where we don't do hour, 6, 7, 8 hour streams talking about Chad Zumick or Felicia and Karmic Gags, or although I do like watching the Pretty Antisocial stream. It's something about two girls that I do like it. Yeah, a lot of piazzas at the yoga class. That's a fact. That's a fact, Jack. So, um, what up, Earl? Jim Hopper, unit out of Fort Bragg. I knew these men. I can't believe Jim Hopper got in on an ambush. I don't believe he did, Major. I can't find a single track. So I'm going to go to the gym now. Yeah, shout out Gino Bisconti. I mean, he's one of the greats. I mean, I had him on the Comedy Store podcast during the pandemic. He starts dropping N-bombs on it. And the producer's looking at me like, am I getting a phone call right now? Wild card line. Hello, hello. Maybe I should just give out my landline number, break all the rules. Yeah, I got something for your sore ass, Ross. Earl, do you know what a bird watcher is? I'm going to assuming it's some homosexual insult. Yeah, Earl Skakel, Earl Rocks. That's a fact, Jack, JJ. All right, you guys. I don't know if me going live on Instagram for a few minutes helped or hurt me, but I love you all. This is the little stream that could. Hit the like and subscribe button, please. Comment like the great William Zoom. There's many ways to help a struggling YouTube streamer that aren't financially involved. You could, tell your friends to subscribe or whatever. Make burner accounts and subscribe. I don't give a fuck. Earl Skakel over now.